I have the privilege of working Saturdays with her from 12 to 4, and believe you me, that lady makes me work. I come out of there a blithering idiot. My wife says, "What's the matter?" I said, "Alice just put me through the ringer." She is an amazing lady. And I want to just read something here that, just kind of briefly, and mention a couple of things. If you got the newsletter, you found out the background of this wonderful lady and her education, a botany major from UCLA and a graduate forester from University of California. There were 9. Alice was the 9th one in the nation and the 3rd one in California, graduate forestry from University of California. Not many female foresters back then, even today, but let alone back in those days. And I just want to read this to you. Alice has been so instrumental, along with another lady that we all remember, Florence Morris, in putting forth this effort to get the wilderness area from a primitive area. It was known as the Trinity Alps primitive area, and it didn't have wilderness status. And this lady and Florence Morris, and I'm sure other people, but these 2 ladies were at the front of that. And there was an article. This is from the Record Searchlight, and I don't have a date on it, but it says Alice was 60 at the time, and Alice has just turned 98 last month. So 38 years ago, when this was written. It says, Weaverville, there are 2 things that we male chauvinists should know about Alice Jones. Number 1, she is a real, honest-to-goodness forester with a degree to prove it. Number 2, she has a lot of friends. These facts became very apparent after a December 9th United States Forest Service hearings on the proposed Salmon Trinity Alps Wilderness Area. Mrs. Jones testified in support of a large wilderness area. The Record Searchlight reporter covering the hearing made the mistake of noting in cavalier fashion that Mrs. Jones had, quote, turned herself a forester, end quote. The phraseology drew down the wrath of liberated womankind. Friends of Mrs. Jones called and wrote the newspaper affirming that Mrs. Jones had indeed was a forester and that strongly suspected that the Record Searchlight reporter of being a male chauvinist pig. So, how many of you folks have been into the Trinity Alps? Certainly the majority. And we all know that that is a very, very special place for us. And Alice has devoted her lifetime in this area of walking, photographing. You can see by our wonderful pictures. She has a book out that's an outstanding book for anybody that ever wants to know about any of the flora of the Alps, flowers and trees of the Trinity Alps. While I'm here, I'm going to mention a couple of books that we have over in the museum on the Trinity Alps. This is Luther Linkhart's guide to the Trinity Alps, and it talks about the lakes and whatnot. The same is for this one, Hiking California Trinity Alps Wilderness Area, and this one is by Dennis Lowen, and then of course probably the most widely read one by the late Wayne Moss, the Trinity Alps Companion. This is the new, the latest version. And Wayne and I and Alice's son Dixon spent a lot of miles in our early days walking the area that is magical to each and every one of us.